Buenas tardes a todos. Es un placer y un honor para SUR, la Escuela de Artes fundada por el Círculo de Bellas Artes y la Fábrica. Gracias, Blanca. Hace 2 años, decía que, gracias, que es un honor alojar este acto que nos va a dar un conocimiento de una cultura de la que hemos oído hablar muy someramente, y a través de protagonistas que van a hacer un acto performático muy en la onda de lo que hacemos aquí en la escuela, pero con unas fuertes raíces antropológicas. Además, tenemos el honor de que nos acompañan Marina Villegas, la directora general de Investigación Científica y Técnica del Ministerio de Economía y Competitividad, y el embajador de Canadá, Levine. Paso la palabra a Marina Villegas.
Muchas gracias. Gracias, Daniel, embajador. Muchas gracias a los organizadores, a la Fundación Canadá, a la Escuela SUR, por organizar este acto. Welcome to our distinguished guest, Aaju and Michèle. Thank you very much for coming here. We are really pleased to have you in this forum. Thank you very much. Bien, soy la directora de la Agencia Estatal de Investigación, una entidad que es muy nueva, se creó en noviembre y se puso a funcionar en junio. La agencia es una parte de la Secretaría de Estado de Investigación del Ministerio de Economía y Competitividad, y tanto dentro de la Secretaría de Estado como dentro de la agencia tenemos las competencias del Comité Polar Español, y esa es la razón de que yo esté aquí. Apoyamos la ciencia en los dos polos. A mí no me gusta lo de bipolar, pero es la ciencia, apoyamos la ciencia bipolar, tanto en la Antártida, donde nuestra experiencia y nuestras infraestructuras son grandes y bien conocidas, como en el Ártico, donde no disponemos de infraestructuras, pero sí de mucha experiencia de investigación y de colaboraciones. Y aquí está el embajador que sabe que estamos empujando tanto desde Canadá como desde España para establecer relaciones fructíferas para poder España acceder a la investigación al Ártico, que nos interesa muchísimo. Estamos interesados desde el Comité Polar y, por supuesto, desde la Secretaría de Estado en todo tipo de investigación polar, no solo lo que normalmente llamamos científica o, bueno, de las ciencias puras, sino también es ciencia, y nos interesa mucho las ramas de humanidades y ciencias sociales. Creo que este es un foro muy bueno para poder ver cómo las humanidades y las ciencias sociales tienen cabida también en esta investigación científica, no dejan de ser ciencias también, y también estamos muy interesados. Evidentemente tenemos más experiencia en investigación en los polos, especialmente en la Antártida, con investigación en biología, en química, cambio climático, etcétera. Pero nuestro interés, como decía, está en el Ártico. Evidentemente el problema del cambio climático en el Ártico es muy preocupante. Nosotros sí creemos en el cambio climático, sí creemos que está pasando, nos preocupa mucho. Tenemos grandes investigadores que hacen investigación en cambio climático, y por eso queremos extender nuestra colaboración mucho con Canadá, y estamos a disposición de los investigadores, de todo aquel que tenga interés en hacer cosas, pues aquí estamos. También nos gustan mucho las artes. Yo he de decirlo porque tengo una hija que es artista, así que aprovecho. Y nada, muchas gracias a todos por venir. Estoy segura de que esto va a ser muy impactante y yo tengo muchas ganas de verlo. Así que muchas gracias a todos y le doy la palabra al embajador.
Muchas gracias, Marina, y muchas gracias, Daniel, y gracias al Círculo de Bellas Artes, Escuela SUR, por facilitarnos este espacio realmente excelente para este evento. Un agradecimiento especial a la Fundación Canadá, que es un partner indispensable para la embajada en este evento, en realmente casi todo lo que hacemos. Y gracias sobre todo a las dos invitadas de honor, Realmente nada nos podría hacer más felices de tener esta ocasión con un público tan grande, que realmente es un placer ver tanta gente aquí. No hay evento exitoso sin un público realmente que participa. Pero tener esa oportunidad a ofrecerles esa visión del Ártico para nosotros en la embajada tiene un significado especial, porque el Ártico es una parte tan esencial de lo que es Canadá, no solamente por las dimensiones que representa unos 40% del territorio de nuestro país, pero más que porque es una parte tan central de la identidad de los canadienses, de su sentido de ser, ese ambiente tan especial, misterioso, bello, extenso, a veces difícil, a veces hasta hostil, pero realmente llena de una belleza muy especial. Es algo que todos los canadienses sienten, es parte de la forma en que se definen, como un pueblo que de alguna forma existe a pesar de una naturaleza difícil. Ahora, habiendo dicho eso, la realidad es que muy pocos canadienses han estado en el Ártico, eso es la realidad. Es parte de nuestra identidad, pero realmente sin conocerlo, o sin conocerlo directamente y sin conocerlo sin duda profundamente. Pero el pueblo, la gente que conoce el Ártico, son los pueblos indígenas que habitan en el Ártico y los inuits sobre todo. Los inuits, como los otros pueblos indígenas de Canadá, que han hecho una contribución tan enorme y a veces no suficientemente reconocida a lo que es nuestro país, y no solamente nuestro país, a lo que Canadá ha podido aportar en su interacción y presencia en el mundo. Y claro, la historia de la relación entre el gobierno canadiense y la sociedad canadiense con los pueblos indígenas y con los inuits específicamente es uno de los capítulos más oscuros de nuestra historia. Pero gran parte de esa historia ha sido una relación en que el gobierno de la sociedad no ha acordado el interés, el respeto, la atención necesaria a esa relación. Pero creo que la gran mayoría de canadienses ahora se sienten muy felices y orgullosos que tenemos un gobierno que ha hecho una de sus prioridades principales, restablecer una relación renovada de nación a nación entre el gobierno de Canadá y la sociedad de Canadá y los pueblos indígenas. Claro que es un largo camino para recorrer, pero eso lo ha reconocido nuestro primer ministro en el Día Nacional de los Pueblos Indígenas este año, cuando habló de la gran contribución que han hecho los pueblos indígenas y la importancia de establecer una nueva relación y tomar en cuenta la sabiduría, el conocimiento de los pueblos indígenas en todo lo que hacemos como país y como nación. Menciono brevemente el Consejo Ártico porque es un punto de cooperación muy importante que tenemos entre Canadá y España. El Consejo Ártico, que se creó hace 20 años, celebramos el aniversario 20 este año, se creó en Ottawa, una iniciativa de los 8 estados árticos, que acorda un papel muy especial que no existe en ningún tipo de otra entidad multilateral a los pueblos indígenas que participan directamente en el trabajo del Consejo y que representa un modelo de gobernanza, creo, pues, y los que son mucho más expertos que yo ven como un modelo innovador de gobernanza que podría representar un modelo por la manera en que como comunidad internacional afrontamos otros retos donde soberanías son compartidas. España, país miembro observador del Consejo, que eso nos da oportunidad para cooperación importante en muchos diferentes materias. Agradecemos muchísimo el papel importante que España juega como observador, el aporte que hace en innovación, en conocimiento científico, y lo que es claro en ciencia, tal vez en muchos campos, sobre todo en ciencia, que solo sumando esfuerzos podemos desarrollar respuestas a los grandes retos que enfrentamos en el Ártico y en otros campos. Entonces, finalmente, un enorme agradecimiento y bienvenido a Aaju y Michèle. Bienvenido, Michèle. Welcome, Aaju. Creo que hay materiales que tal vez ustedes han leído sobre las dos invitadas, dos mujeres excepcionales. Aaju es una muy reconocida abogada y activista inuit que realmente ha consagrado su vida a la defensa de los derechos de los inuits, a la protección y preservación de su cultura, sus tradiciones, su idioma. Y Michèle, etnóloga y investigadora y profesora emérito del Instituto de Lenguas y Civilizaciones Orientales en París, una de las muy pocas expertas no indígenas en la cultura del mundo inuit. Entonces, realmente nunca podemos esperar tener dos personas que mejor y más elocuentemente nos podrían dar una idea de lo que es el Ártico en este espacio alejado en algunos sentidos, pero se nos van a acercar a través de su presentación. Entonces, muchísimas gracias por su presencia y estoy seguro que todos disfrutaremos de este performance. Muchas gracias.
Hanorle, ate, atorlogo, krodlark. C'est vous li pami. Yes, we will speak a secret language sometime between two of us. We will not translate.
Una kulle ikinniartara. Kulle ikinniartara. Nuna vumisana yausimayo. Suputiqartunilo amma itju mi panersiisiungugatta. Kullermu atornaartillugu. I'll be lighting this lamp. The lamp is made out of stone from my home community in Inuit. And for those of you sitting at the back, you can come and look at it afterwards. What we do is we collect the moss from the earth, like this. The moss from the earth grows this thick, and we collect it so that we can dry it. And this is what we used from ancient times. How come I'm echoing? Is that okay? We collected, this is what we did from when we used to live in the ice, snow. And we are still using this. And then we collect the willow. Because the Arctic is so cold, nothing grows very tall where we live. Everything is this high, very close to the ground. And the willow, Arctic willow, is this tall, and that's our tallest tree. So when we get lost in the woods, guess what we say? Just stand up. And I like telling that joke. Sometimes when people don't laugh, I say, it's a joke. With our ancestors and today, we use seal fat. Is this being interpreted? Oh, there's an interpreter. Okay, it's okay?
Sí.
Just raise your hand if you don't understand. We use seal fat. This is seal skin. We use the fat. It's delicious. I didn't bring any seal fat because I ate it all. I bought oil from the store here. We also use caribou fat, deer, beluga whale fat, and fish fat. Yeah. We still use the lamp. Even now we live in a building, not in the snow. We are still using the lamp for special occasion, for ceremony, for welcoming people to our territory, and for special occasions when the legislative assembly, the parliament, will be sitting, then we light the lamp to show respect for our ancestors and for our tradition. You have to excuse me, I was running here I came to Spain to not waste 1 second. They've kept me very busy. When the elders now, when they're welcoming us, we still use ancient songs. We don't have a written language in our tradition, but everything we know is passed through stories and through songs. And we use the drum to settle dispute. If we were fighting, then instead of punching each other, we would make a song.
Nice, that's true.
And if you could laugh loudest at the song I made about her, then I would win. And she would make another song, and if you laughed, and I would lose, and I would be ridiculed. Ridicule and laughter is the best way to settle disputes.
Mm.
I think we should adopt that.
Solio, ate, uturit.
Imagine the lawyers ridiculing each other. That's funny. The song that I learned from Elisapi Uttura, an elder from Pond Inlet, Mittimatalik, talks about the lamp and how the lamp does not have fat to burn, which means you have no light, you cannot melt the snow, you cannot dry your clothes, and it means everybody is hungry. There's nothing. 1 month ago when I left my community, everything was covered in snow already, everything. That was 1 month ago. The ice is still open, it will freeze, but when the ice freezes, everywhere, 360 degrees is going to be all ice. Like here, that's the way we like it. No mosquitoes, no bugs. It talks about how the only game the hunter who wrote this, or not wrote, who developed this song, he talks about how the only game that he finds is his own footsteps, and you starve. We still remember, because It was only 2 generations, 3 generations ago we moved into places like this. I'll talk more about my tattoos after and how they relate to very much to seals and the oil lamp. And I don't want to give you all the information because I would like to come back and tell you more when I come back. Inna jusa ngani li samani samaya ayaya ayaya ayayayim samayayim aku lili siku anili samani samaya ayaya ayaya ayayayim samayayim Kulleruna osuk saminik hayosapatuk samaya ayaya ayaya ayayayim samaya Dan mikit do tinyaktara isulit pala yaman na unikalak lo unikakumabi
ate unikalawit
sivululuko kay una kanok kullik atto ang mga ubanga kakiningin nun ukaw sa kisala.
ay
Oops, that was an extinguishment that was not meant to happen. And I'm sitting before the ambassador. I'm very nervous.
it's very intimidating.
So traditionally, all through Inuit history, we always had tattoos. And when the missionary come, the minister, priest, he said no more tattoos for Inuit women. So 7 years ago, we take it back because it was our tradition. And you see the flame of the stone lamp. It's the like little mountains, like here, little mountains I have, and we carry this flame as makeup, as beauty. And how we make the tattoo traditionally is we take the soot, the dirt. It's dark. We put it on a string, and we sew it into the skin, in through the skin. Yeah, very painful. The elders they say that right here, because they also have the tattoos like this. I didn't dare this. Right here is the most painful. So painful, your toes curl. And that's how they tell it. And this is where we get them sewed for all the tattoos that we sew through the woman. And the woman, during her first period, when she's about 12, 14, she gets the tattoos to prepare her for child labor. Those of you who have given birth without anesthesia or anything know how painful it is. So we get the young people ready. We'd also put the hand tattoos to please the sea god, because the sea god gives us all the food. We put the face tattoos to please the sun, because the sun disappears for 2 months. No more sun. So when the sun is coming, we want the sun to be happy. The song I was singing when I started In the Dark is the song to welcome back the sun. And we hide the oil lamp so the sun will not be offended and be happy to come back. And the words to the song go, I am so happy that I shall be live again, because each spring we are all born again. Wonderful time of year when the sun just stays in the sky forever. This Y-looking thing that we put on our body as tattoo everywhere is a hunting tool to hunt seal at the seal hole. It alerts the hunter that the seal is coming and to be ready, because he cannot move. He has to stay like this. Minus 50 degrees, minus 90 degrees, it's windy. He has to stay like this for hours, even for a whole day. So when the seal is coming, at the seal hole, he puts this tool, which is made out of muscle. He puts it there so he can know when the seal is coming, and he sees the feather moving, he gets ready. He cuts this. That's the name of that.
Unikalonga mana. When we met, I don't remember you were tattooed. Far from it. So it means that you took the decision to be tattooed, and it means that you wanted to revitalize an essential part of the culture. How did you come to this?
Yes, our tattoo tradition disappeared 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Because of the missionaries.
Yes, of course.
But I was sitting across a young woman 9 years ago. No, it was more than that, 12 years ago. I was sitting across a young woman who said, I want to have tattoos.
Kinaina.
Alitia, I'm not kokpara.
Alika.
And then I said, me too.
Uvangalu.
Uvangalu. So we traveled for 5 years, and Alitia collected all the information. We interview elders because they remember. Our elders, they remember their mothers, their mother-in-law, their grandmothers. Everybody had tattoos.
But do men dare to talk about their memories of being, of seeing women tattooed? The men, I suppose, they are talking about this. They have memories of it, and I suppose they have a lot to say. Not only women.
We interviewed both men and women.
Oh, both men and women.
Partners, because the men also remember.
Yes,
the men were very happy because we got the tattoos finally after 5 years of documenting. They were so happy because it brought them back to a happy time when they were children and they were with their mothers and grandmothers. To see this before they die was good memory for them.
And the symbols of the lines, well, they are feminine and masculine, as you said.
Oh, yeah. I carried these because I go to Europe to protest anti-sealing. And I wanted Europeans to see that I'm proud of our seal and our heritage, our tradition.
And that's why I wear an amauti that you made for me. And I wear it everywhere in Europe and mostly in France because I live in Paris. So I wear it all the time and I'm not afraid. And if somebody would dare to say a word against it, I think I would bite.
Yes, that's our economy. Our only economy is to make seal skin. Yes. I love seal. But I'm not in love with the seal. That's the difference. Of
course, and that's the difference. Of course.
I love eating it. It's so cold outside that you have to keep warm. You can put on a lot of clothes, but when it's so cold, you have to warm from the inside, and seal meat and fat gives us the heat.
You know, I remember I was at your place in Inuit, I don't know when, and a few years ago, I suppose, and there was a seal and just cut, and you said to me, "Oh, I've not been eating seal for a certain time. I was away. So when I eat seal, it's like if I drank alcohol."
Mm. It's so rich. It's
yes.
very rich in nutrition. Yeah, it makes you hot if you don't eat it for a long time.
For a long time, yes. I remember
So now
this.
here, even if I'm from the Arctic, I'm cold because I'm not eating my food to keep me warm.
Yes.
Canola.
I would like you to remember about this link between women, daylight, and the sun. Because in Inuit mythology, there's a story so important about this. It's a beautiful story, and it's still passed down. And I heard it many, many times when I was at your place and another place in Arctic Canada. And I want to hear it again. Unikalorit.
Tekwago anigik illu silatani ila illu ilana ullalaqtuminin ullalaqamik kayvatuinnartutik kayvatun nayagijaw sivulliulluni taanan anigijaw kingulliulluni qiyummi ikkumangmi mannatigussilluni ikitawlluni taana qaumalat. This young woman started to run, and she had a stick, long stick, and she lit it on the qullaq, stone lamp, and she started running, and the brother did the same thing. He also took a stick and he lit it, running after the sister. And they were running around the igloo. They were running so fast that they started elevating up towards the sky, and they went up, and as they were going up, the light from the brother went out, but the woman, the girl, her light was still on, and she became the sun, the sister with the light, and the brother became the moon because his light had burnt out.
Serenerlo takrilo. Takwa. So it means that the moon and the sun are humans.
Yeah.
They were human beings.
Everything has a soul in our tradition. And the sea goddess, who we respect with our hand tattoos, she was also a girl who then became the god of the animals. Yeah. That's the sister, the provider of new life.
Springtime.
So we respect her like this.
And did you notice that there are many young people here?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm missing my granddaughters. So yesterday I almost ran away with one girl. So hang on to your children. How we pass our oral tradition in our culture is not by books traditionally. We would have elders tell the stories. And yesterday I had an example of fox and a lemming. Do you know what a lemming is?
A siksik.
Siksik. It's a small animal.
It's like un peu comme c'est un rongeur, un peu comme un écureuil, maybe a little bit like a square. Un peu.
Avinga.
Avingar.
Yeah.
It's not avingar plutôt que siksik.
Siksik or
siksik.
It's a small one. It's like a little.
C'est le petit.
It's like a little mouse.
Ouais, ouais. Avingar.
Little arms and little hands. Yeah. So the the little avinga is teasing the fox, and it's going. Pameo papana yang ajaripo kitonga tunigo nekitasioktuit nekitasityangila. The little avinga is saying this. It's going, oh, you big tail up there, you're running around looking for food, but you're not gonna find food. And the fox, it goes, Nioki teleki kongasiki ninuna amalukta. The fox goes, you got short legs, you got short arms, your neck is very short, and your head is round. Very cute. So we have many, many songs stories like this for little children. It's to teach them about the differences of the animals. Big tails, runs around everywhere, and
round face.
the little round faces, little legs, but it's all the characters of all the animals that we start teaching from they're small, so they know. Because we are the top hunters also, like the polar bear. We have to know the animals that we hunt and their amazing skills and abilities.
Yes. And knowledge is passed down through stories, like myth, of course, like mythology, but also with singing, dancing, and playing games.
Oh yeah.
That's the way Inuit pass down knowledge. And I think that I remember an Alaskan woman, Elsie Mather. She said that when a story is put down in a book, well, it loses a kind of fluidity, and it becomes rather like an object. It's fixed, it doesn't move. And so you begin to analyze the story and you give a definite meaning. It means this, it means that, and so and so. And she was saying, how can we dare to do it? And if we do this, we must be very, very careful, because stories are mysterious. They are this part of a mystery in our life, and we must not interpret everything. We must preserve a certain part of mystery. And so she said it's so important to pass down knowledge orally, only by words.
Well, it has the life.
It has the value, because it's come from somebody who has an experience, a personal experience, an individual experience. And then this individual experience becomes a collective experience. So maybe Elsie Matter wouldn't like so much analysts.
I think it's important to keep the oral tradition, because when we tell it, you put an emotion. It's like singing a song. Yes, when you're singing a song, as opposed to reading a song. Those two are different. And our songs are very particular to our environment. They're created from the environment. So even if I tell it and I sing it to you, it's different experience, because many of you don't have that -50, -80 experience where you have to go hunting. But maybe you can understand a little bit of that when I sing. Inna jusangani li samani samaya. So you can already tell the difference in the mood and the speed and maybe their hunger and starvation in a song that is being sung. Or yeah, 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 yeah. It's a happy song. So on the different songs that we have portray the different mood or hardship. Yeah. But we always have fun. Even if we live in a very harsh environment, we always try to laugh at each other.
Oh, I heard you singing. What was it? It was a Greenlandic song. It was many years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't remember. It was about kamik. What was it? It was. Oh, please! I want to hear it. Ah oui, je me rappelle, et les petites Camille. Ah oui.
Yeah.
C'est joli comme tout. It's a nice one.
But the elders say the reason why we have so much fun or try to have so much fun is you would succumb. You would not survive if you don't laugh at each other, if you don't laugh with each other, if you don't have fun with each other. The harsh environment would just eat you all up. You would not survive. So fun and laughter and even though you have a hard time, just overcoming hardship is what Inuit are very good at.
Udlumimut, even today.
Yeah.
It's not only the hardship of the past.
Yeah. It's very important. Yeah.
And the Inuit are generous. Well, they like to share. And Pauktutit women, I heard from Pauktutit women, it's the Canadian Women Association. I can put it that way, huh? Pauktutit. Yeah. And I remember they said some of the women, to show their generosity, well, they like the lamp, to point towards the guest, to show that the desire of sharing, because it's such a highly valued sharing is so valued in Inuit society. Well, in the past it was true, but it's still today. You always want to share.
It's the basis of our survival, is sharing. Even when we explain sovereignty, it is sharing. If you can share more of your land and welcome people more into the land you are from, then you have more authority and autonomy. Likewise with the hunter, when he catches the seal, he has to share it right away with people. That's to show respect for the animals, showing respect for the land, showing respect for the land on which we depend. Because none of us can survive 5 minutes without air. If I try to drive for 5 minutes without air, I can't do it. So by sharing our land, by sharing our animals, the animals can see that we are very grateful. And the land can see we are very grateful. Because everything has a soul, not just human beings. Everybody has a soul and everything has a soul. And everybody can see if you're following your laws. I showed an example yesterday about Inuit traditional laws. Are you done with this? Or you're still...
Ade. Hanung itok. Ade. Hanung itok. Piruk.
So when we were going to law school, we had an Inuit elder professor. And we asked him, so we want to know more about Inuit traditional laws. Did Inuit have laws? And at that time we were sitting in a law library with white man's books. And he said, Inuit have so much law, so many laws, that it couldn't fit all in here. But the difference between white man's law and Inuit law is when you do this with white man's law, it's broken, it's gone. But the Inuit laws, every one of us, we carry it here. So if I'm 200 kilometers alone on the land hunting, guess what? Because I'm carrying my laws, I have to follow them everywhere I go. I cannot hire a good lawyer to defend me. It is my laws that I have to follow everywhere. And because everybody can see me and everything can see me, you always have to follow your laws. Yeah. And that's the main difference. When I was taking law, I couldn't understand that you could be found not guilty, even if you were guilty.
Yeah.
I couldn't get that because you're supposed to have your laws in your heart.
Yeah. And rules, Inuit rules, mean that there are many, many, many things that are forbidden.
Yeah.
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 Many pitaidlen.
Yeah.
Right.
So our elder professors, we asked them, so which laws are you following today? And they say, and which religion are you following? Are you following the ancient religions or the new religions? Guess what? They're following both just to be safe. Just to cover their butts. Yeah. Yeah. So they have
They are careful.
many laws to follow. Yeah. I would be interested in hearing what people have to say if you don't mind.
Ah, Ati. Alors, on peut peut-être avoir un micro baladeur. Est-ce que... Voilà. Alors, il y a un micro ici. Et puis, nous engageons un dialogue, une conversation, des questions.
Bueno, a mí me gustaría... ¿Me está traduciendo? ¿Subo ahí?
Il faut que nous entendions si c'est de l'espagnol. Oui.
Bueno, mi pregunta es un poco política, puesto que usted es una activista y defensora de los derechos de los Inuit. Me gustaría saber qué espera obtener del gobierno Trudeau después de la aceptación y aprobación de la Declaración de Derechos de los Pueblos Indígenas.
Thank you for your question. You can stay here. Yeah. Why don't you just stay here?
Probably the sound is gonna go on. Si se oye mal porque se cuele lo de ella por los receptores,
Yes, we are very pleased with the new Prime Minister, and he is very open for Indigenous people in Canada to work with them. We've been very pleased, and I have big hopes for the future. Right away, he put equal men and women in the parliament, and he included Indigenous people. There's much more work to be done, but it's a very good start. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Felicitar por la intervención tan tan maravillosa que ha habido de acercamiento de una cultura desconocida. En ese sentido, mi cuestión es, el modelo de cultura inuit es un modelo de economía social, cooperativa, que puede tener efecto de transformación en nuestra sociedad actual, una sociedad de mercado y básicamente competitiva, y a la inversa también la cuestión, en qué medida esta sociedad está transformando las comunidades inuit, esta sociedad de mercado donde la propiedad privada domina y el capital sobre los vínculos con la tierra o la cooperación.
Very good question. If I understood you correctly, it's hard for me to come to Europe and try to talk of what is better or worse. I think both are good, because you come from a long history also, just the way we do. The way that we indigenous people, the way we relate to nature, relate to animals, relate to each other is important to us. I don't know how it would be possible with 5 or 10 million people all together to adapt an indigenous lifestyle. For us, we live in a very, very big territory with very, very small people. So our lifestyle is possible, of sharing, of respecting, of welcoming. We have capital economy. We sell our things. That's when the business came in. We don't share that easily. We share our traditional food and traditional culture freely with everybody. But the people that are making money tend to keep the money to themselves because it's a different economy. And somehow we haven't applied our tradition into capitalism. I hope I explained myself correctly. Would you like me to expand, or did I miss the train altogether? I don't know if I understood his question. It was okay? Okay. I would have liked to elaborate, but I hope I somehow hit it.
Muchas gracias, Aaju, por esta estupenda presentación. Mi pregunta es más bien científica. La mayor parte de los proyectos científicos que se desarrollan en Nunavut necesitan la aprobación de los poblados Inuit, el Consejo de Ancianos, y necesitan integrar siempre un Inuit, una persona Inuit al menos, en el proyecto de investigación. ¿Cómo ve el futuro? ¿Cuál es el siguiente paso para que haya una integración entre el conocimiento tradicional Inuit y la nueva ciencia que los hombres estamos llevando al Ártico?
There is cooperation between science and traditional knowledge, and they're working together. It's a good point. But I find always that it is also important for us, Inuit, to do our own research, to do our own science. Canada is the only Arctic country without a university in the Arctic. Greenland has 2. Russia, Alaska, everybody else has universities. And I find it sad that we have to go down south to study. We want to study our stars, our waters, our animals, our society in our own language and the way we see the world. That is the next step. That in order for us to have a true cooperation, we also have to be at the same level. we would like same education, but we would like to be the ones explaining our society, our everything from our perspective, because we look at the world from the top down, not from the bottom up. Just kidding.
Szeroj. Takugut, are you? Szeroj.
Oh yes.
Up,
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I was born in the biggest island of the world, Greenland.
Pardon. Voilà.
This one. And now I live on number
Zero.
5 island in the world. Mani.
Voilà, Greenland. Et là,
Yeah.
Nani
Mani.
Manat.
Mani.
Te
Yeah.
Mani.
Yeah, if you can see it, sorry.
Baffin Island.
I live right here. That's my house right there.
On the sea. And it's a beautiful scenery.
Oh, it's a beautiful.
From your
Yeah.
windows, it's beautiful.
Yes, very good questions. We would like. It's a fine line, I think, with economy, because since we cannot sell the sealskins anymore, thanks to Europe, now we have to go into mining. Unfortunate, because our tradition is a long, long tradition of existing with nature, and we form a partnership. And since we can't sell the skins anymore, we have to now start destroying the land on which we depend. It can be done safely if we have good technology, and if we educate and make Inuit part of this whole development. It can be done properly, I believe. But it's important for me to maintain our life and maintain the environment so that the animals can continue to live, but also we can live in harmony. I'm not trying to be romantic. I'm just trying to be realistic, because this is the only earth we have right now available to us until we figure out how to move to some other place.
Buenas tardes. En primer lugar, quería darle las gracias por acercarnos la cultura inuit hasta Madrid. Muchísimas gracias. Y tenía dos preguntas. La primera es, hasta donde yo sé, la población inuit está distribuida en al menos 4 países, 5 si tenemos en cuenta Noruega. Aunque creo que en Noruega no hay habitantes inuits. En Canadá creo que se le llama inuits, en Rusia se le sigue llamando esquimales. Mi pregunta primera es si ustedes tienen la sensación de ser una nación distribuida en distintos países o no. Y la segunda pregunta es si, como ocurre con otras tribus norteamericanas que han sido confinadas a reservas, ustedes también sienten un souvenir.
A what? Souvenir? Souvenir?
Yes, what I want to say that many people in the United States, many Indians, they are really fighting for his rights, but for the rest of the nations, they look like a souvenir. Understand? This is my question, if you feel the same or not.
It is true that Inuit are colonized by 4 states: Russia, Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. But we are the same people. We meet, we speak the same language, and we meet every 3 years in what's called Inuit Circumpolar Council. And we are one people, even though we were bordered up from 4 different states. Yeah. And I believe that we will have much stronger cooperation because of technology. It's easy to find all your friends and family on internet, on Facebook, And we are having, thanks to internet, stronger connections. I would like to be part of Greenland from the Canadian side if that were possible. And I would like to be part of Alaska. It is only because of our nation states that we have fake borders. We used to have much more travel between and connections to us, to each other. It would be nice to do that again, because we never went to war. We are very peaceful people. There's no threat of us going to war against each other, no. We also try not to be bambificated by animal rights groups and by looking like little Bambi and little Eskimos out on the ice. That tries to happen a lot with animal rights groups and people who want to make us little cute furry things. We like fur, we dress up and we look very cute, but this is our culture and we want it to not be a Hollywood item. We want it to be real. Yeah. Bye, girls. So cute.
Si me qoyanak tiki pusi, tiki luagachi España mut. Quería preguntarte, primero una pregunta con curiosidad. Yo estoy familiarizado con Groenlandia especialmente, y tú eres de Groenlandia y mudaste a Canadá. Primera curiosidad es, ¿por qué te mudaste de Groenlandia a Canadá? Y segunda pregunta es el diferente desarrollo que está teniendo lugar en Nunavut y en el Greenland Home Rule y todos los desarrollos, desde el punto de vista de conservación cultural, ¿cuál de los dos países, cómo compararías tú el desarrollo que está teniendo en los dos países y cuál te parece que es más adecuado o mejor?
I think we're going to stay here till tomorrow morning. That's okay. We'll order pizza. In 1960s, all over the world, there was a policy to assimilate indigenous people. And I was born in 1960, so I fell under that assimilation process. I went to school and I was taught in Danish. I was sent off to school in Denmark when I was 11, and I came back when I was 18. I couldn't speak my own language. I couldn't speak with my mother. I didn't know the culture anymore, because all I learned in Denmark was Danish, English, German, French, and Latin. Nothing to do with my language or my culture. So when I went back to Greenland, I was very angry. I had lost my own connection. So I kid you not, the first Inuit from Canada that was walking the street, I grabbed him. And I moved to Canada. It's true. Because I had never heard about other Inuit. I thought Greenlanders were it. But when I saw other Inuit, I was like, oh my God, it was like another earth opening for me. Because I had lost my own language and my own culture, I could not get enough of the Inuit culture. I just drank it like red wine, no end. I was so thirsty for my own language and my own culture. In Greenland, I was told, you're not Greenlandic. You don't speak your language, you're not Greenlandic. So I was very hurt. In Canada, because I was not from Canada, every single word I learned was, oh, they were clapping, and every single thing I was sewing, they were like, oh, you're so special. So I became very special in Canada, learning their language and their culture. It was my salvation. When we try to compare Greenland and Canadian Arctic, it is unfair to Canada, and it's unfair to Greenland. The first missionary that came, as you know, to Greenland was in 1721. That's almost 300 years ago. The first missionary that came to the Canadian Arctic was in end of 1800s, beginning of 1900. So already there, the two influences are different. And you have to agree, Danish and Danes are very different than Canadians, eh? The Danes were so good at building infrastructure. The main difference between the two influences is the Danes included the Greenlanders in their decision-making process, and they included them in everything that was happening. The opposite with the Canadians, it was dictated from far away, and just not included, just dictated. This is what's going to happen by somebody sitting in faraway office. The Danes did a very good job with infrastructure and building fishing and helping Greenlanders become more independent. And now they want to be their own country. On the Canadian side, the development is happening much slower. We don't even have a harbor where we can land any fish if we had a fishing boat. I sail on cruise ships all across the Northwest Passage and to Greenland. We always have to get our oil from Greenland because there's no place we can get it in that whole territory. It's two different, very different influences from our colonizers. And the way Greenlanders grew to be where they are today is very different, I think, from how Inuit are growing. And somebody would have to pay me $1 million a year to live in Greenland. I prefer absolutely to live in Canada. Why? The Inuit still share their food. Never talk about something others shouldn't hear about. That's the motto. Inuit are the first judge that traveled in the Canadian Arctic. It was a traveling court. Justice Sissons said about the Inuit in Canada that these were the first people he had ever met who held no grudges, no judgment. Imagine to live with people who will not judge you. These concepts are very strange to us because it's such a new concept. And that's why I live in Canada. People are so kind, so sharing, non-judgmental, so patient, because we are still remembering that ancient tradition. I think Greenlanders, especially in the bigger cities, have adopted the European, I'm so cool, you know, how they walk. You want me to sue?
Oh, yes.
I'm so cool, and I have the latest jeans, and my boots are really, really cool. Attitude that they have, in many respects, they have forgotten that human and kindness of sharing and being non-judgmental.
Temaloka kmanna. Temaloka kmanna.
I'm just warming up. There's somebody there. Oh, there.
Kinalo. Oui, quelqu'un là.
I wanted to ask you, as we are an art school and we're interested on the relation between life and art, you have talked about the spoken tales and the drums, the songs, improvisation, but do you have any other artistic expressions, issues, like sacred sculptures, religion items, or any other artistic stuff?
Cape Dorset, for instance, and Inuit per capita create more art than the rest of the world. Everything is art. I don't know if I understand what you're saying. This is art.
So
The things we use are art. The clothes that we make is art. Everything is functional, but it's
useful. Okay.
it's used as an art. I'm going to show you one more thing. So this amoti, especially for the little ones, we carry our children in this amoti. It means to carry. And you carry here in the pouch. The hood is for when it's windy, and I don't want the baby to be exposed to the cold, but Michèle, amartilong.
Ati. Ubanga.
You're too big, stop it.
Iluano. Siaro. Niahunga, ati, piuyuaro, niahunga.
So I'm carrying the baby here. I have 5 babies, so they all were carried like this. And when it's really, really cold, we can feed them. We don't have to ever take them out when it's really windy. So it's a very useful tool, this amoti. And the reason why it has 2 slits here is when it's really, really cold and you need to go to the washroom, you're not going to lift it up, are you? So when you go like, we eat like this, we sit like this. Normally I would be standing up here and showing the rest of you, but there's an ambassador here, I can't do that. So you're welcome to stand up and see. So when I go like this, I'm still being protected. It's my own, no cold is coming up. If there was no slit, this would be coming up, and I would be losing my heat. It's very, very functional like this. The reason why we hold it like this is we are always working. Everything is formed to be functional. There's nothing back to the art. It's a piece of art, but it's still, why waste your time and energy on something that's not going to be used? Everything has to have a function, but it has to be beautiful. Some women, they had babies that were so small that they had to carry them in here. So there's enough space here, because then they would disappear. I thought I left my baby in here somewhere. They were so small that they would have to carry them like this. Yeah. This is absolutely beautiful, very functional. I see many mothers carry their babies like this, but our terrain is like this. We need to be able to see where we're walking. Yeah. Here you can just be blindfolded and you're never gonna fall because it's so flat. So you can see everything, you can do everything. Your baby is with you all the time. And then when we are throat singing, it's just imitating all the animals. Stays here forever. And it also doesn't strain my back. I find when you carry something heavy here, it's straining your back. This way it keeps your back straight. I just wanted to show you the amoti, because you must have seen people with babies like this. Yeah. In the amoti. You're welcome to come and
non,
see
peut-être
them.
pas.
I think there's one more.
Sí.
Yeah.
Oui, une autre, d'accord. Mais très courte.
Hola, muchas gracias. Yo quería preguntar, como una mamá, justamente con lo que hablaba ahorita de los hijos, con la salud. ¿Cómo hacen para que los niños no se resfríen? Cuando están resfriados, ¿qué hacen para curar? O sea, la salud, ¿cómo?
That's an excellent question. The cold was brought in by whalers and white people. we didn't have the sickness. Many sicknesses we didn't have until they were brought in by whalers and others that came to our place. I think our food, the seal, the intestine, the fat, everything was keeping us from being sick. But the women would know how to use the plants and how to use seaweed, how to use the little vegetation for whatever illnesses we would have. But having a cold is a new phenomenon. That came with the white people. I would cure them the way you would cure your children, because I live in a modern place. How do you cure your children? Yeah. Like in Greenland, we used tea, chamomile tea, yeah, for the cold. Yeah. Yes. I'm so glad I'm past all that. I don't have small kids anymore.
Tema loca.
Okay.
Pues esto es, aquí acaba el acto. Muchísimas gracias a todos por venir. Y bueno, espero que hayáis aprendido algo nuevo sobre la cultura inuit. Gracias.